So I'm sitting here with Evan Powell, who's the CEO of Nexenta,
Hello.
and is it morning still yet? It's morning, isn't it? Still
Right.
morning. And we're just really going to have a quick chat just to talk about why we're out in Amsterdam, which is for the user conference, and I'm sure you'll give us some more detail, but if you just want to
Sure.
tell us why we're here, and
Sure.
we'll have a chat about it.
Sure. Great. So there's really, as you know, two parts to this conference.
Yeah.
One is today, which is primarily users
Yeah.
talking about their experience with Nexenta store and Nexenta employees. I think we probably have 14 or so here talking about what's coming in
Right.
the product and so forth. But the prior part was the prior 2 days, which we had, I think, 88 partners, primarily partners getting trained or
Yeah.
certified, in fact. 2 days of certified Nexenta engineer training.
Right.
So for us, it's a great chance to meet with, of course, each other for that matter, because we're all over the world, but end users and these partners. Given our model where we only sell the software, we need the partners, many of which are exhibiting Intel, Supermicro,
Yeah.
STEC, Boston, others, to together provide that total solution. So
Yeah.
this is a great time for that whole total product, if you will, to come together, talk about what they're seeing in the market, and get feedback from end users.
So is this the first one you've done with these conferences in Europe, or is this...
Well, we've done a number of trainings, and then basically the feedback and the kinds of things we're doing today almost happened maybe an hour here or there or
Right.
in the hallway. But so this is the first where we've said let's set aside at least a day to, as I said, have users present their experience and so forth,
Yeah.
and
And
share information.
And I think attendance has been good.
Attendance has been above expectations, so we are sort of stretching the capacity of the hotel
Yeah.
here, which is great. I don't know the exact number, but 170, 180 people
Yeah.
for today's, and as I said, 88 for the last couple of days, which is up. I think our first training was in Dresden a couple of years ago, and we had 12 people.
Right.
So we're now, whatever that is, 10, 15x up on that over a couple of years.
Yeah. So clearly the company's grown very, very quickly and continues to. You obviously see a good future. There's lots on the horizon,
Right.
lots of stuff coming up.
Well, as we discussed today, the storage market is enormous, maybe infinite, although it's a little vague. But with reports now saying it's 42% of IT spending, and of course storage demands, as you know, Chris, are increasing exponentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
We come to market with a better open alternative that allows customers to save 70, 80% and know that over time those savings will be built in because they're not locked in
Yeah.
to the product. So you put those things together in the beginnings of a real ecosystem of lots of good partners, again, Intel, etc. We have a platform for growth, and it doesn't seem a lot of demand thanks to the storage market, and it doesn't seem that there's a real cap to the extent to which we can grow right now in terms of market dynamics. Our cap, or what limits us, is of course total product and making sure we have the people on board in
Yeah.
time to actually meet the demand.
Yeah.
So you see us ratcheting demand back, ratcheting our ability to serve the demand back a little bit based on how many headcount we can get on board.
Yeah. So I was interested in your speech this morning, your presentation, when you talked about cloud,
Right.
because there's a very interesting discussion there around what technology you should put in for the storage layer.
Right.
Clearly the cloud providers want to do it at a cost that makes it justifiable for them to be able to run a service.
Right.
But they still need to provide some level of resiliency and
Right.
availability within that. Now,
Right.
clearly you see that as a big part of your market.
It's a huge part of our market, and that happened really last year. We saw the big uptake in adoption by cloud providers, including KT, which is Korea Telecom, Asia's largest public cloud.
Yeah.
And there the drivers were absolutely cost. You can't buy typical legacy storage and power it on for the price Amazon sells S3 at. So by definition, you start with a zero or negative margin. So they went with an open approach, not just us, but the entire stack. And KT is
Yeah.
open source or open core. And then in their case, they're actually buying the hardware direct from the manufacturers, which are also in Asia, which is not dissimilar from what a Google or Facebook, of course, is doing. So why is ZFS good and Nexenta Store good in the cloud? Well, savings is a huge part of it. But the other thing is you don't want the data to go away. Airtight data integrity and being able to deal with sometimes less expensive disks forever, and being able to find and correct data corruption, and including silent data corruption. But then the third thing is that it's software. So for these larger clouds, including internal clouds, they want to automate everything, and including they want to have a gold image of Nexenta Store. So if you go into these clouds that are running on Nexenta Store, what you often see is Nexenta Store gold images stored on Nexenta Store, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
And then they take that gold image and they make a storage machine as they need it on demand, because that's the nature of the cloud.
Yeah, great. Okay, well, thanks very much for your time. It's been great to chat to you, and hope the rest of the day goes well.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.